Hi everyone, welcome to the first video of our IB Physics Simple Harmonic Motion series. I'm Yasir and today we are breaking down simple harmonic motion, a must-know topic for every IB Physics student. Our world is truly alive with oscillations, from the flapping wings of a butterfly to the swinging of a pendulum. These rhythmic motions are all around us. In this video series, we will learn about simple harmonic motion, a fundamental concept in physics. We'll learn the physics behind simple harmonic motion, what makes it so special than other oscillations, and solve some problems together. Without further ado, let's get started. Simple harmonic motion is a very special type of oscillation, where it must obey two important conditions. Number one, the total force on an object is proportional to the amount of displacement. Let's take an example to understand the first condition. Focus on the spring block system. As the extension of the spring increases, the force on the block grows. This means that the force increases with the displacement. The same happens when the displacement is negative, that is, compression in the spring. Larger compression means larger force. Therefore, we can say that a spring block system obeys the first condition for simple harmonic motion. That is, force is proportional to the amount of displacement. Notice that at the origin, the net force is zero. That's why it's called as the equilibrium position. Equilibrium position in simple harmonic motion is a position where there is no force on the object. Equilibrium position is also known as the origin. Alright. The second condition is that the force should point towards the equilibrium position and opposite to the displacement. Focus again on the spring block system. Notice that the force is always directed towards the equilibrium and opposite to the displacement. Since the spring block system obeys both the conditions, we can confidently say that it performs simple harmonic motion. Both the conditions for simple harmonic motion can be beautifully expressed mathematically. We can write force is proportional to negative displacement. This means if you double the displacement, the force doubles. The negative sign, it signifies that the force is directed opposite to displacement. If the displacement is to the right, the force is pointing towards the left. If the displacement is to the left, the force is going to be towards right. So here's our proportionality relationship. We can turn this into an equality by introducing a constant k, known as the force constant. Doing that, we have the defining equation for simple harmonic motion, which is F equals minus kx. If any oscillation obeys this equation, we know it is simple harmonic motion. We can also see that the unit of k is Newton per meter. This means that k signifies how much restoring force acts for 1 unit of displacement. Let's say if k is 5 Newton per meter. It means for every meter of displacement, the restoring force is pulling it back by 5 newtons. If the restoring force or if the value of k is larger, it means you're dealing with a stiffer spring. Before moving further, we are stopped at this checkpoint. A ball is bouncing elastically on a hard floor. It's bouncing up and down. Is this motion simple harmonic? To answer this question, we must know that the only force that acts on the ball when it's mid-air is minus mg. Since this force is not of the same form as minus kx, we can say that this is not simple harmonic motion. It is periodic and it is an oscillation, but it's not simple harmonic. Alright, we have cleared our checkpoint. We can move on. If the only restoring force on the mass is the spring's restoring force, we can say F equals minus kx. But we also know F equals ma. How do we know that? Well, that's Newton's second law. Then taking both these equations together, we can write ma equals minus kx. And now we can solve for a, and we have a equals minus k over m times x. So here's our equation for the acceleration. Now we can introduce another important constant known as the angular frequency. It's represented by letter omega and is defined as omega equals square root k over m. K is a constant, m is a constant, therefore omega is also a constant. This means that omega square equals k over m. Now we can use this value of omega square into the equation for acceleration above. If we do that, what do we get? We get a equals minus omega square x. This means that acceleration is always directed towards the equilibrium due to the negative sign, and its magnitude is proportional to the displacement. This is the hallmark of simple harmonic motion. You'll find this equation in your data booklet as well. Alright, let's summarize what we have done so far. We start with the restoring force from Hooke's law, F equals minus kx. We apply Newton's second law, F equals ma, and derive an expression for acceleration, which is a equals minus omega square x. Omega is the angular frequency and it's defined as square root k over m. That's great. Now it's time to define some important simple harmonic motion terms. The first one is the amplitude. Amplitude is defined as the maximum displacement that an object has, and it's measured from the equilibrium position. Next up is time period. Time period is defined the time an object takes for one complete oscillation. It's measured in seconds. And the third key term is frequency. Frequency is defined as the number of cycles taken per second, and it's measured in hertz. As an example, let's say the frequency is 5 hertz. What does that mean? That means if you wait a second, the object is going to oscillate 5 times in 1 second. We have an equation that connects frequency with the time period. It's given as F equals 1 over t. From this equation, you'll see that the unit of frequency is 1 over second. That's what a hertz is. Hertz equals 1 over second. Finally, we have the angular frequency represented by omega. Omega is defined as 2 pi divided by the time period. Since 1 over time period is the frequency, we can rewrite this as 2 pi times f. We also had the other equation for omega that we used earlier, which is square root k over m. Both of these equations are correct, and sometimes we might need to use both of them. That's it. Those are the basic variables we need for simple harmonic motion. That's great. Now it's time for some homework. The question says, a 500-gram mass is attached to a light spring with spring constant 30 newtons per meter. You have to show that the mass moves with simple harmonic motion. Part B, you also have to calculate the frequency of its oscillations. Take this as some homework and put the answers in the comments below. I'll check all of them and get back to you. In the next part of the video, we'll learn about pendulums, energy diagrams, and much more. Subscribe so that you don't miss out. I'll see you in the next video. Happy learning!